Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is December 3rd, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Here goes our storm that moved down BC, Washington coast, Oregon coast, brought some snowfall across western Washington yesterday. We'll take a look at that in some detail coming up here. But you can see the storm mainly stayed offshore here, bringing some subtle lifting and precipitation across the places of western Washington here. You can see the Arctic air that was feeding the storm system taking the long track across the area. Very tricky forecast around the area of western Washington yesterday with some marginal temperatures and many places seeing a big difference between snow and rainfall with just a few hundred feet of elevation across the area as well. Some places picked up some good snowfall amounts, mainly north of Seattle and Kitsap Peninsula down towards West Seattle. Burien, Normandy Park as well got a little bit over an inch also. So taking a look here, as the storm system moves south, it's going to bring a strong frontal system across California. It's going to impact places like the Siskiyous, Oregon. It's going to spread some moisture back up over Washington, impact Idaho and Montana on in through early next week as well. So let's just go ahead and dive right into things here. These winter weather advisories are going to expire this morning for western Washington. You can see the winter storm warnings for the Sierras in effect here for this upcoming storm. Winter weather advisories being introduced to places across Oregon and Idaho as well. That will continue off through Idaho and Montana the next few days. Now taking a look here, we need more CoCoRaHS observations out there. So Google CoCoRaHS and try to sign up if you can, because I know there was more snowfall than this out on the Kitsap Peninsula here. You can see that one reading of 6 inches there, but we don't have many observations out here. And really, I think this is kind of representing a little bit low totals here across some of the areas north of Seattle. I think there was some up towards 4 inches for some areas as well. The Seattle Metro largely skunked here for the most part as far as snowfall, even some rain reported at the lower elevations as well. Had better amounts across some of West Seattle down towards Burien, Normandy Park here also. So we need more CoCoRaHS observers out there. So if you want to get involved in that, it's a good thing to do. Here we go, Seattle temperatures. Here you can see our highs are just about where the average lows are at this time of year. And I think this next one for December 3rd is going to show observed snowfall for the 5th straight day here for SeaTac. We can see pretty chilly temperatures. Nice little cold snap here for early December here, but not a true Arctic outbreak here across the region. Now looking at Sunday's snowfall forecast for eastern Washington, you can see the National Weather Service kind of playing a little bit safe here, just up towards an inch for places at 990, more down towards Pullman, southeast Washington as well. Low confidence for how far north the snow will reach here, so kind of shown here in the Spokane graphic, National Weather Service. This is for Pendleton, another round of snow impacting the region here as we go through Sunday. Nice graphic here from National Weather Service Pendleton here. We'll take a look at some of these totals here in a moment. This is off into Boise, Idaho here, talking about Saturday night to Sunday morning here. Some of the valley will be transitioning from snow back to rain here, so slushy and slippery conditions out there. Heads up if you're traveling out and about there, and especially the higher terrain through Idaho and Montana will get hit pretty well here with this system as it moves through into early next week. This is for Missoula, Montana, Monday, Tuesday. You can see the probability graphic they have out here. So heads up if you're traveling on I-90 eastbound here on through Idaho and Montana here, going on in through late Sunday through Tuesday. This is California here. You can see Northern California, winter weather advisories in effect, winter storm warnings, 1 to 3 feet above 4,000 feet. Mentioned that yesterday. The storm is still on track to come. Travel highly discouraged, near whiteout conditions possible at times. Now taking a look, this is how the NAM did. Look at this. This is kind of worthless here. You know, we had snowfall around some of the Seattle metro here, especially north, the peninsula and areas down towards West Seattle and whatnot, but you can see it really did not nailed this forecast well at all. This is yesterday morning's run here. It did pick up some of this for east portions of Vancouver Island. It did see some snowfall, but just not a very good showing by the NAM high resolution model there. This was the European yesterday morning as well. Not great, but did show a little bit of accumulating snowfall here, Kitsap Peninsula as well. This was the European as of last night. Increased that a little bit across some of the Seattle area and north here. But again, it kind of underdid the totals of what we saw around the area for the most part. GFS, you can see the resolution problems here with this model run. Seattle did not get 3 inches downtown there, and it got a little bit more north. So just kind of a mess here on the GFS as well. Not very reliable looking at the GFS model itself here. Resolution is poor. You can see here, this was yesterday morning's UW WRF run. It did not hit much of the area area north of Seattle there. Did pick up the Kitsap Peninsula here. But now watch what happens there. Also, this did not happen up towards Bellingham as well. Now watch what happens here. As the model was running last night's run, it was already pretty much too late for the area. It did start to pick up that snowfall occurring mainly Seattle north there, and you can see it even highlighted some of that West Seattle Burien snowfall also. So this is taking a little bit closer look at this. So this model was running by the time the event was already occurring here, so it didn't really help. You can see that enhanced snowfall across some of the West Seattle here, Kitsap Peninsula, and North Seattle there. But again, the morning run did not show that. Now taking a look at here, what's coming up. So this is the yesterday afternoon's European run. You can clearly see the storm that brought that snowfall to western Washington, moving down the Oregon coast here. Pivots a strong frontal system as it moves through Oregon here, across the Sierra Nevada, Siskiyous, Oregon here, eastern Oregon, spreads some snowfall up into Washington too. The Europeans been kind of bullish here with bringing some potential moderate snowfall bands back up in through Washington here as it moves on through Idaho and Montana there. And then we go on and we see a weak impulse come out of the northwest, maybe some mountain snows with that. We'll worry about that in the next day or two. And then we start to bring some stronger Pacific frontal systems in through the region here, at least according to the European. Check out this strong low moving to the northern tip of Vancouver Island here. Powerful front would drive across the region here towards the end of next week. And then again, as we go on in through the following weekend and early the following week, which we can have some cold air around possibly up north too, which I'll show you in the wider run version here in a moment. And we're looking at it now, 850 millibar temperature. And now taking a look at this, let's go ahead and put this into motion. You can clearly see the storm off the coastline here. Some cold air across British Columbia there. Then you can see this next polar lobe kind of reinforcing that a little bit, but mainly stays east of the Rockies here, but tries to get into the areas of northern BC. And then you can see this initial cold air shot come across the Gulf of Alaska here into the Pacific Northwest here. And this is what we're talking about as we go through mid and later next week. And that strong storm moves to the northern tip of Vancouver Island. And check out all this cold air starting to build up here across Alaska and the Yukon, northern BC here as we start to go through the extended European here. And it tries to drop down here, getting close. Another strong system moves across Haida Gwaii there. And you can see that cold air trying to bunch up here. And this could potentially start to leak down towards southern BC as well through the extended. We'll just have to watch that for now. And plus, this could spawn windstorms across the region as well. So the active weather looks like it may continue here, at least on some of the most recent European model runs. Now taking a look here, what is this storm going to do as it moves through Portland according to yesterday afternoon's European run? Let's go ahead and run this through. You can see that moisture start to spread up and over the area here, trending upwards for Bend there. Klamath Falls, you get some good snowfall. Southern Washington Cascades, Northeast Oregon, Baker City, Walla Walla. Look at some of these totals coming in here. Pretty nice snowfall coming up here for places east of the Cascades up through South Washington. On in through Eastern Washington, it's going to be kind of a We'll watch this again closely tomorrow because the Europeans calling for more snow than what the National Weather Service is saying here. Now let's take a look at Washington so we can see the southern Washington here rolling up. You can see that moisture rolling up on the region here. You can see Spokane getting up maybe 2 inches, Wenatchee 3, Yakima close to 3 inches here as we go as well. Walla Walla doing well out of this system. And then that kicks off to the east there by the time we're going into Tuesday early morning at this point. This is for Idaho and Montana. Let's see the storm march through as it comes on in here. Here we go on into Sunday morning here, and you can see the higher terrain snowfall coming. Not as much for the valleys, of course, but look at Boise up towards 3 inches possible here. And then you can see that sweep on through Montana. Missoula getting a good shot of snowfall. Yellowstone as well as the storm kicks on through Montana. Some good snow for the higher terrain there outside of Kalispell as well. Now taking a look at temperatures coming up here because there's a lot of slush and snow and moisture on the roadways here. And look as we go on into tonight, like some of these temperatures dropping, especially north of Seattle and some of the areas off to the east of I-5, mainly away from the Puget Sound, really cool down. Even Seattle getting towards freezing here as we go on into tomorrow morning. So watch out for all that moisture left on the roadways here. Could bring some nice bouts of black ice and slick roadways here as we go through Sunday morning. Let's see what happens as we go on in through Sunday night and Monday morning. Again, some of the outlying areas very cold down at the 20s. That would be a pretty hard freeze, especially areas north of Seattle, north and east of Seattle. Eastern Washington goes without saying. You are going to remain chilly here as we go on into early next week at the very minimum. Now taking a look at the wider view, look, we have the European on the left, the GFS on the right here, 500 millibars, 18,000 feet. We're looking at general ridge and trough position. You can see why we're getting this cold air down to the Pacific Northwest here. I've talked about this a lot, mentioning it again. Big ridge over Alaska here drives down this north flow across the area and allows these storms to impact the Pacific Northwest. So this is kind of what the first thing you look for if you're looking for cooler, snowier weather here into the lowlands of the Pacific Northwest. You need that big ridge out across the Pacific Ocean there, or Western Alaska at least. And you can see that system pivot back across Oregon here. I'm using that word a lot here lately, I noticed. But it's kind of interesting how it just drops down and comes back right across Oregon here. Here goes the next polar lobe, trying to bring some more Arctic air into BC. Doesn't do a great job of it. Then we get another shot coming down across the region here. And you can see some differences start to emerge here as we go. It does bring some cold air both in the GFS and the European here. European with a little bit better shot there. GFS kind of hangs it up off the coastline here. You could get convergent zone activity across western Washington with the European there. But you can see another strong polar lobe drops down across the region. This could bring a windstorm across Pacific Northwest as well. GFS has some differences, but does stay active, troughing here across the northwest coast of North America as well. As the European painting a pretty active track here. Atmospheric river potential, windstorm, cold air banking up here across the Yukon and northern BC and Alaska here through the extended. So that'll be fun to watch here for the next few days. We'll continue to do that. Here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, just kind of general below average across the west. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, a little above average signal for some of Oregon and California as we go. 8 to 14 day, keeping it open here across the west. Near normal for much Pacific Northwest there. And again, if you didn't hear me the last couple days, Northwest Avalanche Center, great tool if you're going off in the backcountry there. You can see it shows moderate, considerable avalanche danger, including down towards Mount Hood there as well. You can click on this, get more information, including snow observations and reports. Very nice site here. Now, we're going to continue with this active weather, I think, on through the next week or so. So we'll continue to watch that day by day. Potential for atmospheric rivers, windstorm, cold air starting to pile up here across Alaska, Yukon, and BC. Can sometimes break down south as we go on through the extended. We'll continue to watch the movement and the evolution of that in the forecast here. So anyway, I know a lot of you guys enjoyed that snowfall across the region. It's always fun to watch it fall. It's just not fun to deal with sometimes, but at least we're not dealing with, it wasn't like it was 28 and snowing yesterday. It was pretty marginal and kind of slushy once you drive around on the roads on it yesterday. So not a significant Arctic blast, but still a very decent cold snap here for late November on in through early December here as we're getting multiple rounds of snow across the area. It's just not that dynamic of a system as far as making it stick on a lot of the roadways in the lowlands here. So yeah, we'll continue to break this down day by day. It'll be interesting to see what the model runs show today, see if we can get consistency on how much cold air is going to build up across the region and what kind of storms are going to traverse the area here as we go on in through the next week or two. So hope you guys are having a good day. Thanks to all my new members signing up, all the new subscribers. You guys make this channel possible. I'm getting a lot of comments here. I might have to sign somebody onto the page here and have people respond, because I see all the comments coming in, but I don't have quite the time to respond to everybody. But they're very, I do read them, so keep them coming. But no, the page is doing well. We're up over 14,000 subscribers, getting towards 14,500. And yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow. We'll break it down, and I will talk to you guys then.